Greetings and God bless. I wanted to do a video about wolves in sheep's clothing. So, because we're in a prolonged crisis the past couple years, something that you might notice, let's say the perpetrators of tyranny, whether they're the globalists or a Karen, um, or whatever, just some weird entitled psychopath that's blaming you for everything. Anyway, so what these psychopaths, wolves in sheep's clothing, do is so most of us are neutral or decent people. And so most of us are not out to get everybody. Most of us are not out to exploit whoever they can. Most of us are not looking for the easy target, the low-hanging fruit. However, there are the psychopaths, sociopaths, the borderline opportunists that have no conscience, and they rely on the nice people, the real people, the souls. They rely upon our better nature. They rely upon our milk of human kindness to be exploited. And I saw that, I think, and of course I am not an expert. I don't know this person, but I watched this interview and just a couple red flags went off for me. I really like Ice Age Farmer. I don't know who Defenders of Sand is, but just the name makes me it reminds me of the Son of Sam for some reason. Pardon me. And so and at one point, this Defenders of Sand guy was saying, he just out of nowhere, he's like, we've all become different now. We're nicer people now because of this situation. That is not true. That is not true. And I do not think that applies to this guy. There's a lot of people who have not learned to live within their means. They have no intention of living within their means. Yeah, they'll virtue signaling that they're planting sweet potatoes and that they've got a lot or whatever. Or maybe they will, participate somehow in their community. But there's predators, and there's especially a lot of predators in the permaculture, in the organic farming community, in the yoga centers, in the meditation centers, folks. That is the easiest place for predators to harvest whatever it is that they're seeking. Yoga centers, folks. Predators are sometimes the very thought leader you really like. Like when I worked at Omega Institute, Deepak Chopra was there, and they called him Deep Pockets Chopra because he set up a separate area for people to buy his books. And Omega Institute didn't like that because Omega Institute wanted to profit from his workshop. So predators don't like other predators, interfering with their exploiting of the sheep, So, being that the topic of this channel is about post-traumatic growth, we have been subjected to a deliberate engineered trauma. Everybody's been traumatized. The children have been damaged, not to mention the vulnerable adults. And it just, it's this exquisite, horrible atrocity, travesty that's gone on. And it's probably going to get worse. And the predators, I saw it in this guy's eyes, like he's trying to say, yeah, we're nice now. We might have done things bad in the before, but now we're nice. No. People are going to get worse. Good people have become worse. I mean, I have had experiences where people who had really bad things, where they were sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars for years, and they were nice about that. But when I said I declined to conceal my identity, that person told me I should die. Now that person was not upset about somebody suing them for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for years. She never said a bad thing about them. But because just within a couple seconds of me saying I wanted to breathe oxygen freely, she said I should die. Like, the worst is coming out of good people, okay? So the bad people certainly are not going to become better people. So, my message for those of us who have post traumatic issues, post traumatic response, um, in this time, there's going to be wolves in sheep's clothing. Let's say an earthquake happens, right? And so everybody goes to shelter. So that wolf in sheep's clothing, the psychopath, the sociopath, is also going to go to shelter. But he's looking right from the very get go. Who's his next feed? Who's his next prey? All right. And the worst are the psychopaths that try to hide, that try to like fit in, look like a sheep, because then you don't know. And then you do something nice, you engage, you become friends, and then you're like, oh no, this is very bad. And these psychopaths, sociopaths that really shouldn't even be in society, because the rest of us are not trained in how to do this ninja level special ops kind of battle. And that's what a psychopath, sociopath is. It's very high level, sophisticated, demonic um, interaction. And demons have been around since the beginning of time, so they have what, 6,000 years of experience. That what's a person with 50 years experience, or 20 years, or 2 years of life experience? I mean, even yes, we have the Holy Spirit, those of us that believe in Lord Jesus Christ, and yet it's a bit overwhelming. So, folks, there's going to be wolves in sheep's clothing. I believe that they have been, for lack of a better word, I feel like they've been activated by the past couple of years, because even good people have become the worst. I'm seeing the worst in good people, like people I've known fairly for quite a while. So I don't know if they've always been such conformists, such sadists and masochists. Maybe they've always been a sadist and a masochist, and now it's just coming out. I don't know if it's been an activation, or if it's like invasion of the body snatchers and aliens or demons have possessed everybody, a lot of people. I don't know. But I'm just trying to give you a heads up that you need to have your guard up and listen to your gut. So when I was listening to this sand, defenders of sand guy, he was saying, this BS that people are becoming nicer now, which is just what the heck. And he was talking about seeing some sort of heart in a tree next to thy sage farmer. There's no heart shaped thing, like, and I think he's try to convince people. So, and the thing is, with these predators, sociopaths, so a bunch of vulnerable people gonna run from a earthquake or something, right? And so that predator's looking for the next easy target and next meal. And ultimately, what does a sociopath, psychopath want to do when there's a crisis, when there's a breakdown of society? What does that sociopath want to do? He wants power. What does a sociopath or psychopath do when they have power? Absolute power. They rape, they kill, they steal, they enslave. And I could see this guy in that. I could see him, like, slavery is on his mind. That's what I'm seeing. So, folks, do not support a psychopath. Like, if there's a crisis, do not help a psychopath or a sociopath. Do not let him enslave you. Do not let him enslave other people. there are situations where this happens. I mean, this is happening in Africa where people are being sold for like $300, and it's thanks to the Clintons because they did something in Libya or something like that. And I'm sorry, I don't know all the specifics, but slavery is evil, and it's we have human trafficking here in the United States, so there's slavery here, but it is underground. And folks, avoid any semblance of supporting somebody who's a psychopath, sociopath, doing slavery, murder, rape. Avoid any commerce with people who do that kind of thing, who sell children. Stop it. Don't if you're interacting with anybody who does that now, stop doing business. Amazon is a bad company. Wayfair is a bad company. Injection, genetic modification, transhumanist companies, bad companies. Who knows if they're doing cloning in underground labs, creating, like Epstein was trying to create his own race, and, you know, just absolute unthinkable horrors. And folks, if you doubt this, just do your own research. You're going to find information. You're going to find irrefutable information if you bother to look. And don't expect me to give you a link, because then you're going to just say this link isn't adequate. So find the information that you need that fits your standards. And the thing is, it's not going to be easy to find, because when people are abusing children or doing illegal cloning kind of things, they're not going to put it on the front page of the New York Times. And it's ridiculous when skeptics are like, well, it's not in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. I mean, are your dark secrets on the front page of the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times? It's absolute insanity or incredible stupidity how people expect uh, the absolute evil of the world to be right there, on the front page of the New York Times. But logically, it wouldn't be, like these are things we find over time. So, anyway, sorry for that digression. So, just know you need to really pay attention, be careful during this time. The malignant narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths, they're gonna try to be the warlords or the leaders, and they're going to prey upon your good nature, and they're expert manipulators. So you can't really um, be too direct, because then they'll try to manipulate the stupid people around you, and say that you're being a bully. It's a really hopeless situation, honestly. But I think, just just pray, and I would avoid at all costs any extended connection with a malignant narcissist, or psychopath, sociopath. If somebody in your family that if they are one, like, hopefully you don't have to interact with that one. Or actually, maybe it's better to know the psychopath, than have to get to know a completely new psychopath. So if you have any thoughts about how to navigate a crisis, when there's all these activated malignant narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, please share your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, so just don't believe everything people are saying. because there's not there's not a lot of this hippy dippy nice people thing. I mean, if there really were, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. And I'm not just talking about this lockdown crisis. I'm talking about there would be good jobs for people. There would be good housing for people working entry level jobs. Like this whole time, this past like year, people have been complaining about employees not wanting to do entry level jobs. These crappy entry level jobs where there's always bad air, where there's always a lot of loud noise, where you're on your feet all day, where you have a crappy boss, where there's not enough people are coming to work as well. And even before this crisis, jobs were understaffed. You know, like people are having to do 3 or 4 jobs for one job, getting paid minimum wage because employers know they can get away with it. Employers are trying to profit off of exploiting that one person, making that one person do 3 to 4 jobs. And people have had the nerve. I've heard Anomaly complain. I've heard Mike Adams complain. I can't remember who else I've heard complain, but shame on those people. Just because you have been able to create a platform, yeah, you've done hard work. What, like entry level people haven't done hard work and much harder than you? You know, who do they deserve to get paid just as much as you do? These entry level people who have to deal with all this crap, terrible working conditions, always loud noise, don't get to sit down, don't get to get off their feet, don't have time to wash their hands completely, because they're doing 4 people's jobs, and they're getting paid what, $10 an hour. Oh, maybe they're getting paid $15 an hour. Like, oh, I just can't stand the people who bash the entry level worker, and who bash the entry level worker that doesn't want to do this. All the people who are bashing those entry level jobs, go do those entry level jobs. Mike Adams, go do that entry level job for 10 years. You and Anomaly, and anybody else who tries to shame the entry level worker that doesn't want to work in these horrible working conditions and suffocate themselves and inject themselves with questionable poisons. Like, you guys get those poisons. You guys suffocate yourself 60 hours a week. Like, ugh. So, anyways, like civilization is collapsing. People are not going to be nicer about it, especially after these past 2 years of this horrible psychological operations. So, if somebody's trying to say, "Oh, I'm a nice guy," everybody's going to be nice, that is not true. And you need to pay attention. You need to, if you can, find um, like safe allies and um, and I am not sure what people do when everybody's capitulated to some type of warlord. I don't know if you're supposed to fight to the death, because it seems like life isn't, like life is pretty bad if people are enslaving and raping and stealing. Like, you know, that sounds pretty awful, and I think that is what is number one. This has been going on. Human trafficking has been going on, not just secretly, but it has been. It's pretty basically what um, makes the world go around. I believe that political figures are human trafficked. It's like it seems like they're blackmailed, and um, it seems like that's a lot of what makes anything go round is this is people being blackmailed uh, and um, and like schemes and rackets. I observed that in when I was in Missoula, that there's these like social they're supposed to help the community. There's not enough staff to deal with the need of the community, and uh, and then they'll play like weird games with the insurance designation. And I mean, even like going to the doctor has to fit something lucrative in the insurance code, and rather than deal with what your issue is. If you're talking about something that is not in their insurance code, they don't want to talk to you. Like, that to me is human trafficking as well, because you were not trained how to learn insurance code, so to speak an insurance code, so your doctor can just put whatever in the insurance code. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous, because when you have an issue, you like, an issue just is a random thing. And it's just it's a nightmare. Life is definitely a nightmare. And it's going to get much worse. So I just want you to keep your eyes open and be on your guard, um, and take good care of yourself, and remember to pray. For some reason, where we have this situation, and the most important thing is that you know Jesus, and take refuge in Lord Jesus Christ, and share that with other people. And if you have any questions about this, the gospel, let me know, and I may do a future video on that. God bless.